Well, we have another unscripted news video, because it turns out that a lot was discussed today on the fiction panel for Battletech at PAX Unplugged 2023. They had John Helfers and Michael Saravella answering questions and also pointing out all of the things that are going to be coming out over the next while. Some of these releases are also going to be very soon, so I'm going to be doing a bit of a one-over on all of these, just to give you all a bit of an idea of what's coming out. And I'll also, if I'm interested in these things even. So for those of you wondering, John Helfers is the executive editor at Catalyst Game Labs. He's basically responsible for green-lighting different pieces, as well as of course making sure things come out. He tends to be the one being receptive towards ideas that are going to be put forward in different types of fiction. He plays an incredibly important role in the company and in terms of what Battletech products you see, in terms of novels, novellas, and short stories. Michael Saravella is the other one who is on the panel, and he is actually one of my favorite Battletech authors at the moment. He wrote Damocles Sanction, which is literally my favorite Battletech novel. I even like it more than Wolves on the Border. So, what are we going to see from Battletech in terms of its fiction offerings over the next while? Well, let's get started, shall we? The first piece of fiction I think that's going to come out based off of their descriptions is In the Shadow of the Dragon by Craig Reed. This is going to be about Kirito Yori. It's going to tie up into some of my favorite content, so I am interested in it. I always like the Draconis Combine stories. I like Craig Reed, so this one should be a fun one. Letter of the Law by Phil Lee, the same one who is the editor for Shrapnel magazine, is expected to actually come out quite soon. We're talking late December through to early January. Letter of the Law is a Free Worlds League novel, which is going to be kind of a follow-up to Hunting Season, which was a very successful novel. It's a novel that I enjoyed myself, and I am looking forward to it. It's going to tie into a lot of the Empire Alone stories, I suspect, and we're going to get a real Free Worlds League perspective of the events around that, moving into the Ill Clan era. This is one of the stories that I have been waiting for a while. Without Question by Brian Young is going to be coming out early next year and is a follow-up to A Question of Survival, a book that I have reviewed in the past. I like most of Brian's stuff. I actually don't think I've seen anything of his that I dislike so far, so I'm quite looking forward to this. The Jade Falcons and the Hinterlands, quite frankly, have the only clan story I'm really particularly interested in the era so far, so this is going to be a great follow-up. I really do hope that we get to see a lot from it. I am sure that Brian is not going to disappoint. Trial by Birthright by Michael Saravella is coming in Q2 of next year, and will be set on Terra, and is expected to be the follow-up to Hour of the Wolf. Hour of the Wolf is a more than controversial novel. I won't, of course, be speaking particularly critically in favor of it in this particular video, but that is kind of the endpoint for a lot of the content in Battletech at the moment. Yes, we've had the expansion campaigns kind of happening around that, but the universe itself has been kind of on pause since that moment. This is the first continuation of it. As you guys know, I've mentioned that Michael Saravella is my favorite author at Catalyst. I will add the preface that this makes me a bit more interested to read it. I was not going to actually read the follow-up to Hour of the Wolf. I'm not a big fan of the Terran plotline, but I will be reading this just by the strength of Michael's writing. I do hope that it's going to be good. I expect it to be competently written at the very least. I just hope that the plot and characters are enough to keep me interested in it. The best thing I can say is we will see, and that I do hope that this is a very, very solid novel. Another Brian Young novel, Voidbreaker, is going to be coming out that's going to be talking about the fate of Tucker Harwell. For those of you who don't know, Tucker Harwell was kind of the genius HPG technician who was figuring out how to resolve the blackout. We don't really know what his fate is after the Battle of Terra. What happened to him? Where did he go? We're not really sure. Voidbreaker is meant to be more of an espionage novel, as far as I'm aware, and that is going to be what this is. I'm looking forward to it. We will see where his story goes and where his story probably ends. I don't think Tucker Harwell really has a whole lot to do once the HPG issues are resolved, and I wonder if his character will get something where it involves him going happily off into the sunset, or if he will be disposed of in some way. I'd be surprised if we get multiple new stories with him, but at the very least this will tie up the Dark Age story around Tucker Harwell. There's going to be a new, as of yet unnamed Capellan Confederation novel that actually ties into Trial by Birthright, which will be by Tom Levine. I don't really have much to say on this, beyond the fact that, this is basically going to be the Capellan Confederation valiantly riding out and not winning. I like the Capellan Confederation. I will probably, at the very least, take a look at this book, so here's hoping that it is going to be a good one. The new Grey Death Legion has been a fantastic read with their current 2 novellas. I have not reviewed them on the channel yet. I'm actually waiting for all 3 of them to come out before I review them, but so far I think they're great. I do like the first one more than the second one, but I do like all of these stories so far. This book is expected to come out probably sooner than later, and there will be a version that also comes out that will include all 3 stories in one, that will be available as an ebook or as a print on demand. So that is an exciting new book that will be coming out. Jason Spencer is also one of the top authors right now, working with Catalyst Game Labs, and he always brings some of the best storytelling to his works. As you all know, I covered Giving Up the Ghost by Brian Young, which is part of Fortunes of War. The second Fortunes of War novella, Blood Rage, is going to be coming out probably in January. This is very nice. This is very exciting. I actually really enjoyed this book, and I look forward to doing a review on it and having that out for all of you to see. I'm a big Hanson's Rough Riders guy, and Craig Reed did a great job with that particular piece. There's also Shrapnel news, which is, first of all, we're going to be getting a double-sized issue of Shrapnel in December. That is going to be coming out quite soon, and it's going to have a new Kellhound story by Michael Stackpole within it. It's also going to have some extra bits and pieces for like game elements and things like that as well, but of course this is their primary mechanism for getting out short stories. This should be coming out quite soon, and I'm always a big fan of getting Shrapnel issues. I'm really excited to see it, so I can't wait for the next issue of Shrapnel to come out. A Treachery of Ravens, which is going to be a Clan Snowraven novel by Mike Saravella, is still in production but has been delayed due to Trial by Birthright. So because Michael is working on that other book first, that has to be completed before his Snowraven novel goes forward. There is a Wars of Reaving novel series that is in progression, as many of you know. They have actually managed to get this moving further along. They don't have more details to share with us yet, but this is in motion. Tales of the Bounty Hunter anthology is progressing too. That should be something people are going to be happy to see. The cookbook has entered its final stages. For those of you who are Kickstarter backers, I'm sure you're excited to hear about this. And Jamie Wolf's Art of War is also in its final stages. So these 2 vital elements of the Kickstarter to get everything shipped are nearing their completion stage, which is very positive to hear. They are looking at doing a series of books about the Blakist era. You guys all know it as the J-word era. I don't use it because YouTube's algorithm can get quite testy with certain words. So they are looking at potentially doing a novel series to actually flesh out that era. That is something where I'm not entirely sure I'm interested in that. I'm not a very big fan of the Blakist era. It's not that it ruined Battletech or anything like that. I don't really like the events of it. I don't really appreciate it for what it is, and I think a lot had to be invented to make it work. And it's always going to feel like an odd one for me, even reading into it. I like the Dark Age. So far, there are a lot of parts of the Ilklan era I like. I coach my words carefully. But I don't necessarily have a huge interest, despite being, ironically, a very big Comstar and Word of Blake fan, in reading the Blakist era, to be quite honest. But, maybe they'll win me over. Maybe there'll be something there that I'll just have to pick up. This is still something, though, that a lot of people have said that they wanted. They wanted a Blakist series of novels, kind of really flesh out this underexplored era of Battletech, and that is something that they're looking into as well. So there is your fiction update. We do have one other update, though, in terms of Other Battletech news, which is Randall Bills was on there earlier. He showed off the 4 mechs that they're doing for these Comstar packs, which include, as I mentioned yesterday, the Atlas II and the Thunderhawk and the unfortunately painted Orion. But they did reveal what will be in the other 3 Star League packs that will be coming out over the 3 other quarters of 2024. The second Star League Assault pack is going to have a Daishi Prometheus, the Emperor, an Argus, a Helios, and a coolant truck. The third Star League pack is going to include a Lament. I wasn't going to get any of these boxes, but as soon as I heard that the Lament was in there, I'm going to have to get the third Star League Striker pack. They got me. It's going to have a Jackalope, a Kentaro, something the fans have been asking for an incredible period of time, as well as a Hammerhead 2, and a Havoc, which is a Free Worlds League light mech, so that's pretty exciting as well. And the final one, the 4th pack, will have a Savage Wolf, a Wendigo, an Excalibur, I think they mentioned a Malice, a Peacekeeper, and a Savior vehicle. So these are what you guys can expect to be coming out in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th quarter of next year. And apparently there might even be more house packs coming too. So that is going to be your final news update from me regarding what we've learned this year at PAX for what's happening in 2024, or just giving general updates to the fiction and one small update to the Battlemechs. So there you all go. I will see all of you guys either on stream or in video. In terms of what is coming out on the channel, I'm working on a massive 3-hour video for the Warhammer 2C and the history of Clan Staradder, Snowraven, and Seafox, and how it ties in with the Warhammer 2C and its proliferation around the Inner Sphere. But that is something for another time. That is going to probably be coming out in January. I am writing the script right now, so there will be a slowdown on some of the non-news videos on the channel, at least until I can get most of the script done. There's other assets, including custom art, that are being done for it, so that is something that you guys should all be aware of. With that, are you looking forward to any of this fiction? I'm looking forward to a lot of it, so that is something I'm excited for, but let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, of course, if you like this video as well, and I will catch you guys next time.